Happy 1,027th snow day. How is this going to work today? I'm going to put up a problem on the screen. You're going to answer that question. Make sure you're showing your work on a separate piece of paper and write your answer down first for the quiz question. And then you submit it. I will go through the problem, how to solve it. And if you know you got it wrong, then after the question is done, there'll be a spot to put down what your mistake was. So looking through and watching the video to make sure how I solved it and then what is your mistake. And if you tell me what that mistake was, then I will give you full credit right back again. So you should be able to get full credit as long as you do it. I would send out a... Actually, I can do that because I got remind. Okay, first question. So I want you to solve for the value of x. Now, first thing when you're looking at a problem in Chapter 8, if you have two sides and one side is missing, you should be using the Pythagorean theorem. That's how you should be solving this. And I want you to round to the nearest hundredth. Please round to the nearest hundredth. Do so now. So when I'm solving this problem, my A and B, it doesn't really matter which one is which. C is the most important one. So if I write out my equation, 3 squared plus x squared will be equal to 6 squared. So this is the same thing as x squared is equal to 6 squared is 36 minus 9. 9 squared is, or 3 squared is 9. 36 minus 9 would give me 27. So in order to figure out what my value is to the nearest hundredth, you have to raise it to the square root of 27, and this would be x is equal to 5.20 because the 6 would round it up to 0, so you have to make sure to include that 0. So the first question done. If you got that incorrect, please make sure to put so right now, and if you didn't get it, or if you got it right, then in the box just put a dot or put something, whatever you would like. Here's your next question, and I want you in simplest radical form. Simplest radical form, so you should have your special right triangle cheat sheet out to solve this problem. Do so now. Make sure to show your work on a separate piece of paper so you can check to see if you did something wrong. So for this problem, here's my 60. That means this would be considered my long. Across my 30, because it's not shown, this would be equal to 30. This is my short. And this is my hypotenuse. So on your cheat sheet, if you're looking for your short is equal to your long divided by square root 3. You have to rationalize that. So square root 3 over square root 3, which is equal to 18 square root 3 over the square root of 9, which is 3. And I can simplify that. So that would be equal to 9 square root 3. So my x value, which is my short, is 9 square root 3. My y value, which is my hypotenuse, again, if you look at your cheat sheet, is 2 times your short. Only numbers that are outside the root get multiplied, so my y is equal to 18 square root 3. Those are my two values. Again, if you got something wrong, make sure to tell me what you got wrong or how you got it wrong. And if not, fill it in with a dot, a period, that means. Here's the next question. I want to nearest hundredth. If I have an angle on two sides, you should be using so, ka, toa. So use your notes if you're not sure. Next question. Solve it. Put it in. Watch the video. Here I have my hypotenuse. Here I have my adjacent. So, ka. Ka, so it's going to be cosine of my angle is equal to my adjacent A over H. You always want to get rid of this division. So the opposite of dividing would be multiplying. So 15 cosine 50 would be equal to x. Type that into your handy dandy calculator. I'm doing so right now. It would be 9.64 equals x. Again, if you did not do that correctly, make sure you tell me what you did wrong. So here's the next question. Solve and watch the video then once you're done to make sure you did it correctly. So first, it looks like I have my opposite, and I'm looking for my hypotenuse. So, ka, toa. So this is going to be so. Sine of my angle is equal to my opposite over my hypotenuse. Again, every single time you want to get rid of that division. So in this case, I have to multiply by x on both sides. So x times sine of 13 would be equal to 12. Now I need to get rid of this, or I want to get the x by itself. Again, this is multiplying. So I want to get rid of that multiplying, you divide. So sine of 13 on both sides. And if you type that in your calculator, make sure you always put the 12 on top. 12 divided by sine of 13. When you put in your calculator, make sure you close your parentheses. So x would be equal to, since it is a side length, you want to round to the nearest hundredth, 53.34. And the last one, you want to figure out what this angle. Theta, again, is just a symbol to say that I don't know this angle. Theta is usually what we use. So solve the problem. Now move on to check your work. So if this is my angle, I have my opposite and I have my adjacent. So if I have my opposite adjacent, so toa, so that's tan, toa. So tan of my angle, I'm not sure what that is equal to my opposite over my adjacent. Now remember, when you're doing this, you want to get rid of the tan function. Just like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, they have inverses, opposites. The inverse of tan is tan negative 1. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other two. These two will cancel each other out, just like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, they cancel each other out. So I'm just left with theta over here. You have to make sure to push the second key, then tan, and then 22 divide by 18. For your angles, always round to the nearest whole number. So in this case, it would be 51 degrees. And there you have it. You just became smarter because you made sure you solved the problem and checked your work. And if it was wrong, you checked to see what you got wrong. You got smarter. Congrats. You're amazing. Go you. You have a great, grand, wonderful snow day. I'll see you tomorrow. I better, at least.